right, so if you can hear from all the background noise of the ambulances, the father, we was kind of in the ghetto trenches out in the outdoor patio area at a bar, which I never, ever actually do. Not since I don't even think by the time I turned 21 was into going bars, because I got all my fucking drinking out the way super young. But again, it was just a moment to where, we're both two dogs on a leash that for some reason our ladies just decided to, hey, go and cut loose. Just don't get no trouble. And, so we was out there, just living, I guess you could say, venting, doing our thing, just conversating. Again, if you couldn't tell, I was fucking chain smoking like a motherfucker because I'm stuck around kids all the damn time and never really have a moment to breathe, let alone to enjoy myself in such ways. So again, I'm sure the next part of the conversation will be the last part of the conversation that we was having kind of on the drive back, and we're kind of hitting topics from political shits to the workforce and food and retail and pay grades. So it definitely gets more interesting and a bit more diverse. I hope you find this shit interesting. If not, well then, you know what to do. I remember back in the days when I was a kid, Cools, they had it came with the FM transmitter that was pretty much just a radio shit, and it came with a pack of cigarettes. So me being a kid, I'd get my mom, hey, get this. I mean, she was into menthols anyway, so it worked in my favor. But it came with a fucking little prize, like, nigga.
Was it menthols?
Yeah, came out Cools back in the day.
Oh man, that's worse than a Cracker Jack box.
Well, cause think about it. I mean, this what makes like a fucking Happy Meal so appealing to a kid. It comes with a fucking toy. Which, by the way, Jack in the Box Happy Meals don't come with fucking toys.
Then no one likes them.
That's why no Burger King. Fuck, I forget what it was, but I was like, nigga, ain't no fucking price. Nigga, I'm paying $5 for a fucking kid portion size shit. Ain't no goddamn toy.
If you're gonna give your kid high fructose corn syrup, you want to at least be like,
give them something to fucking come back.
Something to make them happy.
Did you know that McDonald's is actually considered one of the biggest toy manufacturers, distributioners? Like, this goes beyond your Mattels, who fucking publishes your Barbies and shit like that. Like, they are the biggest toy manufacturer. Like, that's kind of a grand feat. I mean, to think that, mind you, these are little shitty toys that come with a prize, but still,
capitalism is a beautiful thing.
They're toys nonetheless. And the fact that has become one of the fucking, I don't know, leading distributors, it tells me.
I think McDonald's is the lead distributor of this life.
You mean because it gives so many young brothers and sisters a job? Did you ever watch the Dave Chappelle shit?
Oh, yeah.
Got a job?
You've seen the commercials with the African American population, and they even have Black McDonald's website where they cater to the population, which, I mean, you don't see In-N-Out Burger doing that, because In-N-Out Burger clearly pays way more than...
Yo, I've heard about that, especially in California. There's this rapper
$14-15 an hour. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Nigga.
For flipping burgers. And they have good benefits. But they don't see commercials on that.
Do you feel like because of more pay is what's going to generate someone into giving you better customer service?
Yes.
Especially because...
if you feel like you are being treated as the high level pay as you deserve.
Yeah. And
if I'm flipping burgers, I'm like, $8 an hour, this minimum wage, fuck this.
Right.
But if it's like, dude, they're making $8 there, I'm making almost double than them, I feel okay. My benefits are great. I love my job because these are good fries, good product.
Yo, In-N-Out's the shit. I mean, people can complain and say it's a regular ass burger.
And okay, are we recording?
Yes, sir.
Because we're doing the whole, I'm going to throw this out. Okay. White Castle burger versus In-N-Out burger.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. I've had both.
I've had both. I have actually had it shipped from Chicago. And mind you, I didn't get it tasted fresh off the fucking grill. But goddamn it, I mean, the only time I had In-N-Out before having it physically from In-N-Out was like from a fucking frozen dinner shit that you fucking pop into the microwave.
And I've had the actual, the burger from
the little sliders, right?
Yeah, the little sliders with the sauce on it.
Fucking A.
Now, I am a fan of White Castle. I do enjoy White Castle. But do the employees enjoy White Castle? No. They're some of the worst service ever. I just overwent it because, I enjoy the burger.
Where'd you have it in?
In Texas.
They have In-N-Out in Texas?
It's the most west place.
I mean, White Castle.
Yeah, White Castle, yeah. White Castle Burger is the most west places like Dallas. I had it over in Houston. But the thing is, great burger. Something about that sauce, love it. But again, they treated me like shit. They didn't even care about my order. And I'm pretty sure they were making minimum wage. And
they wanted to get you out the fucking door.
Yeah, they got you out the door. But man, In-N-Out Burger, I knew a friend that was there for 5 years, and he was still happy about working at In-N-Out Burger. It's like being a cart pusher at Costco. You're making $16 an hour pushing carts. Man, pushing carts sucks, but you know what? If you're making good money on it, you'll enjoy whatever you're doing.
So you feel in Spanish, vale la pena.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The work is worth the
value.
What you're doing. And that's why I think where In-N-Out kind of shines through, not just because it's a Christian, it has Christian supposedly underlines, or because they put a scripture under a fucking box like that. That doesn't necessarily represent that each co-worker is going to be a fucking faith. It just means that hey, they have a good system and it works for them.
Yes, it works very good. I mean, this guy, he just pressed down on the potatoes, but guess what? This potato was an actual potato.
Yo, I found out that Subway they just did a study of this shit, that the chicken is literally 50% chicken, other 50% or 40% is fucking soy.
Yeah.
Which I can't be too mad at, because at least it isn't 100 different chemicals that McDonald's fucking pumps into.
Yeah, or Taco Bell just recently decided to put beans in their beans.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it wasn't real beans. We don't know what the fuck it was.
Holy shit. I didn't know they had beans in any of this shit. So
I
forget when you tell us.
If you guys don't know Tulsa, don't ever speed in Tulsa. And don't ever go 10 miles over the speed limit because we get suspicious.
Yeah.
Popo in front of us. Okay. But, yes. In-N-Out Burger just looks cleaner. It is cleaner. They pay very well.
Make it right at the Sonics. Now, I was also mentioned because we talked about, pay grade and kind of equaling the service.
Yeah.
I almost feel the same way like when you go to a restaurant and, these waitresses who
now we're talking about the debate between the tips and the
actual pay. But isn't that the same shit? Because here you are, people complaining about you not getting... I didn't know it was 15%. I always thought it was 10%. I didn't know I was being a Jew on purpose.
Oh, I'm 10%.
That's what I thought. But apparently it's 15. I was like, when the fuck did this shit start?
My wife don't tip. She's very Mr. Pink.
Mr. Pink. Thank you, Nicole. But
I don't tip.
But see, you're talking about fucking. Don't say Reservoir Dogs. Oh
yeah,
shit. Okay.
Mr. Pink.
See, and that's where it kind of comes down to, like, shouldn't that pay be based upon the employer? Like, why leave it up to the customers to overpay? Will be the next one. Why leave it up to the customers to make over what the employer isn't deciding to fucking pay?
Yeah.
And I feel like, and not to knock those who are in the hosting and waitress game, because I might need to fucking do that as a side gig just to kind of make a little bit extra money.
Yeah.
But think about it though, you yourself, you're enrolling, you are signing up, you are taking on a job that's going to pay you this minimum amount, which can.
So you are aware of it.
Yeah. So it shouldn't become to a fucking surprise. Nor should it fucking piss you off if someone doesn't leave you a fucking tip, because hey, you knew
this can happen.
Yeah, you knew what you're signing up for, what you're kind of enrolling into. So I don't know if it's a matter of, because if they had gotten paid more, flat wage wise, that would entitle them to again give a better service.
Yeah, and honestly, like, people who just hate their jobs, and
that's true.
Whether you make more money or don't, doesn't really matter. But the whole like self assurance of that, I'm making $20 an hour, even though like you're making $6 or $4 an hour, you're making tip. It's nice. It just feels more secure when you're making tips. Now, I know people who are realtors, but that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Because realtors...
That's commission-based.
That's commission-based, but my realtor's making $5,000 off me, $3,000 off me. He knows that no matter what, he's going to make a certain amount of money. Whether or not he knows the amount.
Selling high or low, he's making his cut.
He's making his cut. And he's making a lot of cut. When you're in the waitress and you're making tips off 10, 5, 15, rather than thousands, it's a different mindset.
Right.
Because the realtor is very cocky.
You're nickel and diming.
You're nickel and diming rather than like, am I going to be able to afford a Kia or a BMW?
It's a big difference.
It's not really a big difference, because at the end of the day, you're winning. Mm-hmm. You may not win as much as you want to, but you're able to win. When your waitress is like, am I going to be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to pay that water bill? Or
see, again, that's a gamble upon what you've already agreed upon.
Yeah.
And you taking the roll of a dice, so to speak, upon how generous someone else is.
Because other people would beg to differ, because it's like, oh, McDonald's, they do the food service. How come they don't get tips?
Right.
And again, it's that whole mindset. I mean, they're making more at the minimum wage level, then you are making.
I mean,
$4.
the company itself is making more because, again, there's brands, there's franchises that just, they're going to make their bottom line because people, they go there. And just kind of like there's a bit of stability, not in the essence of the money making, but you know that when you go to McDonald's, you're going to get a certain product. Whether or not that's a fabricated, overproduced, fucking super saturated, fucking non-natural kind of shit.
Yeah.
You could go to Japan, Tokyo, fucking, and East Texas, and it's going to taste the same because there's a recipe to it.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting the same shit off the same fucking type of truck that, you know, giving you the same kind of shit.
Yeah. Unless you're from India, they don't actually have the cow.
It's the holy shit, right?
It's the holy shit. I don't know what
literal
they put.
Holy shit.
They put like soy, something weird. Okay,
so
but then there's another argument that many of the people who are advocating for the $15 minimum wage are saying that there's just not the jobs available. So I knew someone who had a bachelor's degree who was trying to get into the work he was looking into, which was more computer work, you know. They pay like $40,000-$50,000 starting off, whatever. He couldn't find a job. He applied to 20, 30 different places, didn't allow him to get in.
Probably overqualified. Some places. Then he looked for the lower grades, and he was able to get to Starbucks. Now, when you have your aspirations for making $40,000, $50,000, but then someone else get that job who's now making $40,000, $50,000, and there's only one job available, but Starbucks has a job available. Now, the argument is that your quality of employee does not match the quality of work out there. If you work in a small town, you're going to have your Dollar Generals, you're going to have your McDonald's, Burger King stuff. I might be coming from a big town where I've made very high success and now moving to a small town. The only job available for me is being a manager at McDonald's. So that argument is that the quality of worker does not reflect the quality of work. So me having to get this job at McDonald's is my only option because all the other jobs are already taken. And it's better than for me to take this job than to be unemployed and have no money. Fucking it.
So then there's that part of it.
One of the biggest fuck yous to where if they were to kind of hike up the minimum wage or whatever entry level position shit that pays so much, they're saying that they can go into kiosks. There's actually a few branches already in McDonald's where it's all fucking kiosk.
Yeah.
You don't gotta worry about some little 16-year-old little piece of shit that wants to fucking make a fucking period patty. I don't know if you heard about that bitch in Jack in the Box. Goddamn fucking pissed off. Like again, we can eliminate all that bullshit by making a robot do your fucking job.
Yeah. So then that argument is that when you get rid of all employees, where are these people going to go? Now, Social Security and Access and all these other benefits, Medicaid. Already Medicaid, yeah, because the youngsters. It's already being flushed out. And again, you know, there's people out there who are here illegally who are working and may use some of these services, but...
Now, do you feel like the argument about people who are, let's say, who are illegal, who are doing these minimum wage jobs that most motherfuckers probably wouldn't want to do, or, you know, would consider as degrading, you know, the whole argument of they're taking our jobs, like, again, do you feel like...
So with that argument, so they're paying them less. They're able to pay under minimum wage.
Do you agree that when people say they're non-contributing, I mean, a tax is a tax, and Uncle Sam or what's the word? The government's going to get their fucking cut.
They're contributing whatever, you know, whatever it's property taxes or paying retail tax.
So the whole argument of them not contributing doesn't mean shit because Uncle Sam's going to get his shit off the top.
A lot of people just get the misconception about... Now, the argument is like breaking the law, so... I try to stay in the middle of the street. Because if you're too liberal, you're kind of in your own ass. If you're too conservative, you're in your ass. So I try to see things in between both sides.
Not left or nor right.
Yeah, I try to sit
middle of the highway.
So, you know, like a lot of people say, oh, you're here illegally, that's a crime. Yeah, but...
You want to be technical?
You want to be technical, yeah, but I don't really feel that way. I mean, because technically, this was Mexico. Fuck you.
Fucking A. This is technically... most Texas is fucking Mexico.
We're fucking...
We stole this shit from the Indians.
Yeah, this is our land. But anyways, so yeah, the argument, whatever. Now the whole argument with the whole Social Security cards thing about taking someone's family member's Social Security card for work, that's another argument that I don't want to play with.
Because that is fraud.
Because that is fraud. So I understand when some people are saying that. Because again, we're going through this. This is a huge topic right now because Trump is taking a lot of people out of the country for doing certain crimes.
Do Did you know that really quickly that and let's say we had a kid or something like that.
Yeah.
Because we're both legal residents, if we have a baby, let's say I don't know in Bombay or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, they're not considered a resident of that country, but because they're they're American.
Because of American parents.
Yeah.
That's how McCain got away with it. He's from Panama.
Is he?
Panama.
The canal?
Yeah, look in the canal. That's such a feat. I mean, I've seen pictures of that thing. It's crazy.
I felt so bad that fucking the way Trump shit on McCain, talking shit about this nigga being locked up in a cage somewhere. Like, motherfucker.
Oh, is that calling a veteran? You know,
yeah.
Again, so from our previous talk, like the whole words don't mean like what they used to anymore.
So you get slander and all. You get
slander and get away with things. Like even in online bullying. Come on now. I was bullied as a kid, face to face. That shit was hardcore. Just imagine being bullied on the internet. Click.
Yeah, it's as easy as unsubscribing, unfollowing, you know what I'm saying, ignoring completely. That you it's not back in the day where you couldn't unsubscribe from an ass whooping because that shit was face to face.
Yeah. And I used to have to fight for myself. I miss suspended so many times from school because of that. You know, protect yourselves. Have your parents teach you about
stand your ground.
But the real bullying, you know, cyberbullying, just close it off. But okay, so like so the idea of taking a social security from someone else or making a fake one.
Want to have a beer? Have some beers, or you want to stay clean?
Stay clean. I saw some popo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So like being able to use someone else's birth certificate or social security card to your advantage to work for your family.
Although fraudulent, that doesn't take away from the actual work you're doing and actually putting in.
Yeah. But say like me, if I was sitting around and someone took my social security card, got fired, or was doing things with my social security card, I wouldn't like it.
Right.
Personally. I wouldn't like the person. I would feel violated as much as someone would steal from my house.
That actually happened to me, man. A fucking faggot friend of mine, a literal faggot. He was doing insurance at the time, had my social and everything, gave it to his fucking cousin to get it lighter in her fucking name.
Yeah. It's a large violation, and I don't condone it, and I understand you're trying to get your family together, but
I feel like if you leave it in a negative stance, then you're fucked up.
Yeah.
If you leave something better in the better condition, if not the same condition it was beforehand, then no harm, no foul, maybe? Yeah. Or would you still see that as a form of violation?
It's still a violation. So, again, it's about being able to weigh the pros and cons of just anything. Mm-hmm. So, again, coming to the United States illegally, people hire you without your paperwork. Especially, like, in Central California, a lot of people are working in the fields, no documentation. They just do their money and do their stuff. And the reason these jobs are coming to these people is because they can afford paying these people.
Right. And they're willing.
And they're willing. As soon as you start like telling people to do minimum wage and stuff like that, the job won't be there. So no, they're not taking your jobs for that sense.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you're looking for something with benefits. You're looking for something else that again work that you're not willing.
They're not providing that for you over there. And especially certain labor, like like that.
Some countries are fucking paying rice and beans. Like niggas literally trying to eat to survive.
Although if I had like a meal or something like that, that would be way better than like $5.
Yeah.
So so then the whole argument about stealing security numbers, I don't necessarily agree with it, and for that to be the reason for you to be deported, I'm not really into it. Mm-hmm. But it's not right. It doesn't feel right, especially if it's affecting your family member who's probably passed away, probably from like car accident, who now Juan is using to feed his family, which maybe you should get permission to do that. Maybe that would make people feel better. So the whole labor thing is very complicated. It's tough water.
I know it's
because I have a lot of friends who are undocumented, who are here from their parents, and their parents are scared shitless of being reported.
And I feel like that's kind of like, not to say they give them the biggest kudos to be able to, obviously they're doing something fraudulent to kind of get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
But again, they're making those little small steps to at least make way something bigger, better into their own.
Yeah, because honestly, like the whole system of getting here into the country, getting your passport, and becoming a citizen is a long, drawn-out process.
Technically, you're not even supposed to be in the States while that shit's happening. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to be doing in the meantime? Like,
Again, I mean, there's not too many. And believe me, people who are coming here are here because they really need to. There's people in Mexico who are fucking making bank, who are very well supporting their families, driving BMWs, ain't got to worry about shit.
Probably not doing shit.
And there's a lot of Mexicans out there. There's probably like 50 million out there who are doing very well.
Supposedly I heard that we got meters in Alaska now.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a small population where they're doing very well. They don't need to be here. It's just the ones that are struggling who just need to find something else to go. And the whole overpopulation thing, again, there's people here in this country who are using our resources to all their own advantage. Mm-hmm. We've worked at homeless shelters before. We know how it is.
Right.
So to say that we need to take care of our people before take care of someone else is complete bullshit. Because there's people here in this country who don't give a fuck about America.
Yeah.
Who people out of this country who want to come in here believe more in America than them.
And as much as America can be seen as a bully or as a, obviously capitalism is a motherfucker, so you can say what you will about that shit. But the fact that people are still sneaking in here to try to make their way in the most minimum way possible, you gotta kind of give kudos to them.
Give them kudos because they want to be very protective, caring people rather than the other ones who don't give a shit. And anyways, In-N-Out Burger. I've never seen an employee who never. And again, you look at the reviews. Go on like Google Maps. Type in In-N-Out Burger. 4 stars, 5 stars, 4.5.
And they have long fucking lines usually because the most over lines. Fucking not populated, but I mean, I don't know what kind of.
They're very choosy too. You don't see an In-N-Out Burger anywhere. Like you don't go into Mexico and find an In-N-Out Burger. There's reasons for that because they are very strategic. White Castle burgers, they don't give a fuck. They put it inside of a corner of a crack house and think this is a perfect spot.
If they can make money.
Because they can make money. So, again, I think also that the quality of the food is something important to people.
Oh, the quality of the product and the service.
Again, when you're working at fucking Sprouts, I've been at Sprouts many times. I mean, I don't eat Sprouts because it's kind of expensive, but they're pretty. They're
hipster shit.
They're relatively happy, well-rounded people.
They live the lifestyle.
They live the lifestyle usually, unless they lied and they're a fat ass. And I know that guy. He's got the Jewy hair. Who hates his life because he does sandwiches. Probably an atheist. On 19th Avenue in Dunlap.
Yo, Northern.
You know that guy?
Yes, I fucking know.
He hates his life. That guy hates his fucking life.
Not that fucking. I don't know that guy particularly. But
shout out to that dude. He hates his life, and I don't know why he's there. Maybe he'd be happier being a stripper at a gay club.
Oh shit. Nick's Cabaret. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what he likes?
But you shouldn't be there because we know you lied on that interview. We know who you are, and we're talking about you.
What is it called?
And that girl with them too. I think he feeds off other people's negative vibes.
What is it called? About misery loves company. So
yes. I've been there where people who are miserable. But again, other than them two, everyone fucking loves their job at Sprouts because they believe in the products and they believe they're probably making way more money than the minimum wage.
Well, likely.
Very likely.
I mean, as much as they fucking sell.
And don't even start me with Whole Foods.
No, I don't fuck with this.
That's another level of
that's another thing too. Or again, where you're dealing with bulk shits, where again people can pay you shit because we are selling a cheaper product.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of where it comes down to going back to Mickey D's. Yeah. I mean, think about it. You're talking about $5 to feed yourself an entire entree. Yeah, and the side shit.
Again, why do you think that? Okay, so there's been this whole urban garden thing, like in Southside especially. There's this huge urban garden near like 16th and Broadway. Why do you think people are doing that? Because they believe that they can do better because they know what they're getting is fed bullshit and produce that's not produce, it's more processed foods. Mm-hmm. Chips and nachos and whatnot. But they put pride into their gardens and they put pride in being able to produce something that's better because they know it's better and it's good for them and they feel good about it.
Then it's local, it's creating, building up its little economy.
Yes. So again, it's like being able to have pride. And again, like, I mean, the food in In-N-Out Burger, they give you real fries. McDonald's does not give you real fries. Neither does White Castle. And
never had the fries from there before. Just a little sliders, but so I can't comment. But I can just imagine though, because think about it, you have these little manufactured shits, and I'm pretty sure meat doesn't come in that fucking size.
The meat just feels like it was probably like out there in Bronx and just sitting there and with a bunch of sweat and pollution.
I mean, it's all processed. Processed meat, you're fucked with that.
Yeah, shit. But I mean, like,
all the bologna in your body.
The food over at In-N-Out Burger, it tastes better because it is better. Yeah, I remember how McDonald's was saying that we're eventually going to get out our caged animals by 2020.
Yo, most companies, they're saying that shit. Supposedly now they're going to do with less or no antibiotics.
Yeah. First of all, I've had have you ever been to a place called, what is it called? It's on like 32nd Street in Countback. It's a burger joint.
Hippie Burger? No.
It's
Smash Burgers on...
Not Smash. It's
Is it a franchise?
No, it's not a franchise. Hold on, let me look at my phone.
Local mom and pop, 32nd. Because I know 24th Street has like your Best Buy, your little high health food place. 24th Street has your little Cheesecake Factory. Going into 32nd, that's kind of plaza area shit. So.
Yes, it's more like it's a small plaza that has like a jewelry place and.
Oh shit! It's getting damn near crossing into Scottsdale once you get.
It's more Arcadia,
okay.
Which is funny because like one thing about living on 32nd Street and Van Buren, you're only like 4 miles from like very wealthy people,
right? And some shit, and you get the most fucking homeless, fucking infested, fucking bums.
Yes,
for lack of a better word,
the Felicias in the world. Shout out to Felicia. Deluxe.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Deluxe is amazing. So I think it was rated one of the best burgers like all time.
So man, and I get the most shit from my girl because she comes from Chicago. Supposedly all the best food comes from out there. So, but I laughed though because
you gotta be talking about like South Illinois for it to be good food, because that's where they actually have something called cattle and.
Well, they have fresh produce, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing to kind of like where you think about, not to get too international with it, but like Jerusalem, it's in this little like gulf of a part of the country to where you have all these trades, you have in all the countries that are meeting at this, access point, again, doing all these trades for goods and services. And when you have access to such things, again, it's going to give you better ingredients.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be on some Papa John shit to fucking claim you get better ingredients.
Yeah, so Deluxe, I think they sing to their cows and they're free graze and man.
Oh, shit.
You can tell the difference between a happy cow and a mad cow. I don't care what anyone says.
Like the disease? No,
no, just like I'm in a cage, I'm in a shitty place, I hate my life.
Do you believe in food karma?
Yeah.
And how, like, if you process something that's slaughtered, have to go through this fucking, treadmill of just, murderous, treacherous, however.
Just have a deluxe burger, then have a burger from McDonald's, and you'll just like, wow, I feel better about myself about eating this fucking burger. Even vegans will be happy with themselves for eating that burger.
Oh, don't start fucking. Well, I can't think of a joke right now, but usually a vegan because they'll proudly fucking tell you they are.
They're hardcore. I
remember having like a tofu burger once, and it just felt weird.
Yeah, it wasn't quite right. Your stomach knows better.
I felt like it was like spaghetti meat, and I was just like,
yes.
What the fuck is this shit? This food coloring, like.
And the belly was just like meat. Yeah.
All right, we're getting pretty late in the game. You want to call it a night?
Pretty close, but yeah. So the real thing is, quality of food makes a difference. Quality of pay makes a difference, unless you're unhappy motherfucker, like the dude at Sprouts.
You really don't like this nigga from Sprouts, do you?
Dude, like seriously, like I
gotta go. The last time I went there was to go to Bookman's. I'm a big fan of Bookman's. I'm not sure if you fuck with that.
Dude, like Bookman's is like one of the last of that like whole culture of books and physical stuff. Mm-hmm. Like,
how much
you're realizing we're losing Macy's and JCPenney's because of Amazon?
I know that they're closing a lot of those stores down
because like people don't want to go out anymore in the world.
I believe that. I never want to leave my fucking house.
Yeah.
If you didn't fucking drag me out,
I'd probably be there for another 20 years.
Yo, and I think especially with fucking Amazon, you're talking about Amazon, right?
Oh yeah.
Them fucking having the drones that can deliver shit to you.
Yes,
you can buy your fucking groceries.
It blows my mind that like they give you fresh produce again. Going back to the whole like working with food and so yeah,
perishable items,
stuff like that. That's Amazon's gonna ruin the world in so many ways because it's gonna be like Wall-E.
Yeah, fucking our fat asses gonna be stuck to a fucking chair.
We are gonna fuck ourselves so badly if we allow Amazon to take over the world.
You heard about the little store they had in Seattle, right? Where you just go in and you're checked in, you're signed in, you have a fucking e-wallet account, and whatever you come out with is scanned right into your fucking.
We really gotta appreciate what we got because again, like living in Phoenix for the period I have, we used to have things called crops in agriculture in a place called Levine. Where
that's all suburban fucking.
Where now it's a part of the urban sprawling of America, which used to be a very strong food place, and where all our foods came from. Tolleson and Levine were major places where produce came, and it was there. You can see it. You know it was there. There's some people who think that cows and meat comes from the store, not from like a cow. Generally believe that,
right? Yeah.
People who live in food islands.
Even if you want to fucking get into deeper shit about how maybe as us as a society no longer needing a hunter-gatherer sort of essence to where in order to get your fucking food you had to hunt the bitch down.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you go to the store because that's where all meat is from, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's humbling when you actually drive by that nasty smell. Like, wait, cows? Gross. That's nasty.
It's horse shit.
I don't want to live next to a cow. No, it's like, I mean, we should appreciate those things because it's going to be gone and we're all just going to die.
I'm fucking more worried about how now they can create meat off a fucking petri dish made on some kind of fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes. Not to say, I don't know how it's going to happen if ever, because I don't think cloning has been going on for fucking years and yet we don't have to talk about
but
that
now we haven't been consuming clones yet. I don't think that's been proved yet.
What, was that in India or where was it in the China?
Well, they were cloning like sheep and things like that, but it wasn't like cloning for food yet.
Well, let me ask you this. So let's say how you make a photocopy of something, right?
Yeah.
And you make a copy of a copy and a copy of the copy, and then
losing its essence.
Yeah, it keeps losing essence. It's no longer, whether you call it pixelated or it's losing a little bit of itself with every fucking copy. Do you feel like that could be possibly done with meat?
Yeah, I mean it's done with apples and stuff like that. I had a class in biology in regards to like apples. Well, there's thousands of types of apples, but yet you only need 3: reds, greens, and Macintoshes. They actually are changing the species of apples in general. There's supposed to be 5,000 to 10,000 species of apples,
Shit.
But yet we only know 3 because they're doing that copying. Well, the species of apples are gonna go extinct. Because if you keep on doing that, it loses the essence of being an apple, where it's no longer to produce a sperm or seeds, and it's going to go dilute and die. So we got to be very careful with our meats because they could do that same thing, like you were saying, copy till it's no longer what it was, and now it can't produce anymore because it's something entirely different.
Do you feel like if we're able to get certain nutrients and maybe develop that, whether with certain zygotes or whatever the fuck it takes to be able to make, something a physical form, because we could fucking 3D print goddamn body parts supposedly.
Yeah, 3D printing blows my mind. It scares me. Tight though.
Yeah, no, yeah, really fucking dope. But one of the things to where I'm like, all right, I can understand that being for toys. I can understand that being for, let's say, people can 3D print a fucking car. Yeah. I don't know how the hell that's possible. I don't know where you get the materials for such things. I'm not too sure what fucking HP ink jet
I saw that. I saw it like on Channel 15 or something.
ABC?
There was a car that was like 3D printed. It was ridiculous.
And I mean, I don't know how far we are from fucking having holograms being actual physical things to where we could scan something in there, or you know what I'm saying, reaching that fucking point. But that's gonna be scary to where you can't get any more artificial than that.
Yeah. One thing: never play God. Mm-hmm. Whether you believe in God or not, don't play it, because natural selection is real. And whatever you believe, it's gonna happen. So if we allow other things to take over, we lose what we are as a human being, and we're just gonna slowly deteriorate and let something else take over.
Now this might be a stretch, but with all the talk about moving to Mars and all this shit, and NASA just discovered 7 other fucking planets with its own little sun or whatever the hell that's 40 light years away, which physically speaking would take us 40 years to be able to travel to.
Star Trek is not real, by the way.
No, what are you talking about? Star Trek is way more real than fucking Star Wars.
I never said Star Wars was real at all.
Okay.
But I'm just saying though, like,
even Neil deGrasse Tyson will fucking give its props to fucking Star Trek as opposed to fucking shit in Star Wars.
With time travel,
all time is relevant.
Yes, you realize when you go light years, time changes. I mean, obviously, when we go through wormholes, time acts differently. But when you're going through a different dimension of time, you change with that time. You age with that time. We don't have enough lifespan to be able to go
to really test that.
So we can. I mean, the spacecraft or whatever.
Can you imagine that? Like, I don't know how many years of testing or schooling it takes for you to become an astronaut, but mostly you're not going to see a fucking 20-year-old astronaut. They'll probably be in their 40s. So can you imagine someone who's fucking who took 20 years to educate themselves to become middle-aged to then have to travel another fucking 40 years? Nigga, you're dead by the time you make it to that fucking planet.
Yes,
I would think.
Until we find a way to
fucking hyper beam or some bullshit like that.
Because again, we can mess with time, but again, our bodies can't lie to ourselves.
Right.
So again,
we have an expiration date. We are nothing but a slab of meat on top of some bone.
Now, see, if we had like a fucking saguaro tree that lived to 700 years, put that tree in that space shuttle or whatever like that, it might be able to make it out there and see it, but
we can't really send chimpanzees how they did. Did they do some kind of testing like that back in the day, or is that just rumor?
I think the Russians did something with chimps. Yeah, but that tree may be able to.
The Russians send that faggot ass Lance Bass into space, so you figure we could do something in the higher caliber.
Oh man.
All right, so what I want to say about maybe if you want to end up on this, but the natural selection. Now, I almost feel, because I don't know if you heard about Uber making the flying fucking taxi cabs.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that's possible. I mean, come on now. Eventually,
we can't even make hovercrafts right.
Well, because
like the hoverboards.
I feel like I don't know what conspiracy there is to where we really are trying to limit our energy sources and what we're able to. Suppose if you can get antimatter, it can give so much energy and shit like that. And I don't know if that's going to create a downfall in the industry of whatever fucking power source that we try to limit ourselves to.
I mean, I feel like we kind of holding ourselves back because of capitalism. Capitalism actually is what's holding us back from curing cancer.
Fucking A. Because then how are we going to make money off the medicines, off the fucking research and the scientists?
Because once everyone's cured, then there's no jobs to cure cancer. The cancer centers are all closed.
And then they fucking rely on so much fucking private funding and all this other bullshit. So again, we're stopping ourselves from growing because we want to make money, make the most money.
Money is the root of all evil. It will be the end of us because
we can never have enough.
Yes, and as long as we let that be our priority, our species will just die.
One of my favorite fucking quotes, and I forget the dude's name from Scarface, the boss that Pacino tries fucking over when he tries to take his wife.
Yeah.
What's his name? Where he goes, never underestimate the other guy's greed. I forget what his name is.
I remember him because he kills him later.
Yeah.
But, so then another thing too is, so like, if you're working at In-N-Out Burger and you're working at White Castle, you're going to be like, I make $15 an hour, but I want to make more money. When is it ever enough? It's never enough.
Because then the more we grow, the more expensive our taste becomes.
Yes.
And again, a higher lifestyle.
And content. So again, I think pride is really important. Being able to have pride and enjoy quality. Because again, I mean, we have plenty of walking family members who live in Mexico. Who live off nothing, who are the most happy people alive.
Well, there's nothing to really, there's no keeping up with the Joneses on that.
They don't have any Joneses. It's them.
It's all about survival.
And we despise those people. Like in Africa, we took over a whole country because we believed they need to be civilized and follow us. But Kunta Kinte, man, he was the happiest man around.
All he had to worry about was his family. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're giving them fucking material things to have to live up to, or have to aspire to, and have to. I feel like that's kind of what keeps. We'll throw hip hop back into it. Yeah. Because now all of a sudden, you want them gold chains, you want the whips, you want the rims. Remember when fucking spinners were a thing? You want these fucking expensive shits that really they depreciate in value like a motherfucker. Yeah. But again, cost so much to be able to obtain.
And when you're impoverished, you actually understand appreciation more.
Well, there's a bit of humbleness
yeah. And again,
that's lost in generational shits as well because we become so entitled.
Yes. And again, like the whole, I always hear in the news about people getting shot and killed in low income neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's always about money. Money always has to bring up when it comes to crime and violence.
I saw the crack epidemic fucking.
The reason that is because of the wealthy. The wealthy create this
invisible wall of shit.
What you need to be to do to get to this point in my life. If that wasn't there, why would I need to rob a store? Why do I need to sell drugs?
I know it's International Women's Day, but can we blame women? Because if it wasn't for a woman wanting a nigga with the fancier car, with the fucking flyer clothes and shit like that, really, a man wouldn't have nothing to aspire to. Because obviously a man would want to obtain these certain things to be able to, you know, you have the money, you have the bitches. So, can we...
Well, I think man probably plant that seed in woman. Right.
I mean, as far as, you know, who's the head honcho, who's the alpha male, who's the you know, bigger, you know, the king, you want to aspire to overthrowing the king, if not being at least happy with being the subject that's, you know, getting paid. I want to go back to the national selection.
Okay.
Now, do you feel like, and let's say here we are fighting a pointless, endless, you know, battle, you know, black on black, brown on brown, you know, trying to kill each other because we want to get on top. Now, again, we're fighting a smaller war. Do you feel like the people who, again, not even so much natural selection, because it's mostly based on people who made either smarter investments or who had money to pass on down, who might have the privilege and, let's say, move on over, because they've even done, Google Maps have shown fucking that human race is like a virus across the world, and all we create is this pollution, all this destruction. Do you feel like those rich people are going to be able to have the money to buy themselves a ticket to get themselves out of this fucking... No.
I feel like the people who are in the... At the very end, the wealthy and the privileged will not survive.
Yeah?
And I feel like the people who are in the bottom will survive.
Do you feel because we're going to come together as a human species to overthrow the rich? No?
I feel like eventually money's going to have no value.
Yeah.
Wealth's going to have no value.
Money's gonna be nothing but a fucking shit you wipe your ass with.
Just like oil and water is gonna be nothing.
I don't know if it was Venezuela or some kind of Spanish country to where literally money has depreciated so much they don't even count the money anymore. They weigh it.
Yeah.
They weigh the fucking paper, son.
Crazy, right? But yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, the people who know how to survive are just the normal being human. Fucking ranchers. Will make it
that you have something to barter with.
Yes.
If we ever had to go back to prehistoric times,
we're gonna get services. That. Eventually, you know, every great empire crashes.
Right.
Whether fucking walls Romans, whether it's like, you know, Atlantis, which I mean it fell in the water literally. But I
feel like that's where the aliens are hiding at. I know that's a whole fucking other conversation.
But what's gonna happen eventually is that the wealth and people who are in that level will not know how to survive in the world that you have to learn how to actually be a hunter.
Have some kind of
skills. Yes, you have skills at this level, but do you know how to survive?
How much is fucking banking and financing going to help you when it comes to fucking matter of having to hunt and gather?
It's not. So again, do
you think we'll go back to a primitive time like that?
Eventually
when shit falls.
It's going to happen. Whether it's a World War III or something like that. Again, there's always the people who are on top always going to want to be the top, and they will, no matter what, will fight to keep it that way. But are they going to survive? No, because again, dollars and cents don't mean shit when you're trying to hunt and survive.
Well, because right now we're in the state of thinking if it doesn't make dollars, then it don't make sense.
Yes.
But eventually, if there's no value to that sort of currency, what the fuck are you holding on to?
Yeah. What trades do you have?
And I laugh too, kind of off subject, but one of the biggest things about Gaddafi and Hussein, they're saying that they were trying to change the national currency from euros to actual gold. And apparently America hasn't owned gold like that since fucking back in the
what was that,
gold
like
mining days. What
was that, Fort Knox?
Oh, yeah.
Again, because again, I mean, I always look at my dollars and my stuff and I'm like, what fucking value does this have? I can crumple it up, throw it away, it's gone. It's only gives value because of a whole idea that... So, like, you know, like Wolf of Wall Street, the whole penny stocks. And just...
Selling something that they don't necessarily have.
So Wall Street doesn't mean anything. It's all just predictions and fears of what the market is. But it's nothing. You put your money into it, your money has real no value in the sense, because once currency goes away, what value do you have?
I think it's kind of a dumb system to have because we've seen the stock market crash so many times.
Yeah.
So you figure, why do we keep feeding into a system that's going to eventually crumble upon itself?
Yeah, and again, think about it. I mean, what is money going to feed you? No, is wealth going to keep you going? No, because, again, there's no value in the sense of life. Do you know how to feed yourself without a grocery store? Can you grow? Can you live off the land? Can you produce cattle, you know? I mean, motherfuckers, the Indians used to sell goats for women, you know? Which may seem funny because, you know, it just seems like, oh, why is my woman? But that's how valuable it was.
That's going to feed you. That's going to give you milk. That's going to give you cheese. That's going to give you fucking meat.
So give credit to the woman that your woman is worthy enough to get rid of my food supply.
I mean, shit, that was a gift back in the day, right? I'll give you so many goats for your wife.
Yeah, so, shout out to International Women's Day because apparently that pussy was way better than food.
I mean, you know what's not to sound too fucked up, especially with, you know, human smuggling kind of being, you know, as terrible as it is. Technically speaking, that's one of the biggest, most profitable things you can have because you can always resell some pussy, clean it up, you know what I'm saying, put a douche in there, make it smell good. You can always rinse it out and repeat. Yeah. And it's all for profit.
But again, the thing though was like, you didn't get a woman because she didn't know how to do anything. This woman had the traits to feed, to cook, to nourish, you know.
Which is another dying trade that women...
Yes. Which is important, because again, this is very important to the whole, like, going back to the primitive life. I feel like men are going to die off because we're losing that trait of being able to, you know, feed and hunt and stuff like that. And women may still keep it because if you were, like, a Mexican woman...
I think pussy doesn't really appreciate.
No, not that. But also, like, the value of being taught how to cook, to make flour.
Traditional values.
Yes, that will carry on, and that will be able to give you the tools to survive. So.
I always thought to myself that to get a good woman, I had to go to fucking Mexico, but now they're fucking they're on coke dealers' dick. So it's just again, it all comes full circle to shit being worth shit.
Yeah,
happy.
I mean, my wife knows how to cook. She knows how to grow. I'll do okay when everything hits the fan. Most likely that'll happen after our time.
We'll see if we ever get to see that day.
Yeah.
I fucking appreciate you being able to fucking record this shit with me, man. We gotta really be able to fucking be in the studio, man. I got a decent little setup, man. Fucking if ever you can find the time.
All right, you know it, babies.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. Close this out. Any last words?
Yeah, so I guess from this whole thing is appreciate the traits that you're given in regards to the land. Listen to engines.
Mm-hmm. Engines.
Because they know a thing or two about surviving.
We might fucking kill them off and put them into a small little square footage of land, and, you know, and give them the...
Man, they use that square footage of land to their advantage.
Casinos, baby.
Casinos. And money's never enough. Though you may be happier because of the pride that you have or something, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to make more.
I think ultimately find what makes you happy, right?
To find what makes you happy, because...
And then that be hopefully in a materialistic item that's going to depreciate.
And don't look at the Kanye West's and the TMZs. Because then that's going to screw up your whole desire of being happy.
Shouts out to Trump.
Shouts out to Trump.
All right, so due to it being, an homage or a dedication to Women's International Day, there will be no sacrifices, so there will be no dedications, no bar one save for wins. But of course, stay tuned for next week's episode, because I will be linking up with my boy Master Bruce, who's one of my favorite producers out in the world, and I can't wait until he can actually, be out there in the masses for y'all to spoon feed off of. But again, if you've made it to the end of this listening, again, I want to thank you so much for letting us talk at you. If you ever want to reach me, you could reach me at SoulPapo, really SoulPapo on most and all social medias. If you ever want to become a producer of the show, you could always go to www.patreon.com/SoulPapo. But again, find your happiness. Don't seek it in others. Definitely don't compare yourself to others, because we really have all our own lives, and God works in us in different ways. And we really, it's, apples and oranges. It all tastes good, but just you got to pick you and figure out what works for you most. Again, thank you so much for listening. I'm hoping to soon be able to link up with Evers in the Verse again, because it definitely didn't happen last Saturday, to give you another IBHM I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast. But, just stay tuned. Be blessed. Be real. Later.
All right. I really only have one thing I want to talk about today. That's teamwork. When the rush hits and things start to get hectic, you all have a tendency to start yelling and screaming at one another. That's just dumb and senseless, because you're only going to be hurting yourselves. You should be able to rely on one another when you're in the weeds. Remember, gang, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra.
So, when things in your life become stagnant, you know, you're no longer happy with what you're doing, then you figure out what's important to you. Then, create your own penis showing game. Metaphorically speaking, that is.
All right, that's all I have. Oh, push the fish, it's about to turn.